Welcome to the online demonstration of the Nytro Mega Ray card. In this demonstration, we're going to show you how the Nytro Mega Ray can accelerate highly transactional processes such as the Microsoft SQL database. The LSI Nytro Mega Ray is a dual-core RAID controller, PCI Express 3.0 compliant, that tightly integrates flash modules onto the card. This allows for reads from the database to move from spinning disk into flash. So in effect, you will have read requests coming from the application going to the SQL database, and anything that cannot be handled in buffer cache will have to go out to the storage. And in that case, the storage would be either spinning disk or flash. Being able to move data from spinning disk into flash will allow the SQL database to improve in performance. Now, another side benefit is that any writes from the SQL database into spinning media will be much faster because that spinning disks are not being taxed. So you have two benefits. You have faster reads plus faster writes. To highlight the performance advantages of the Nytro Mega Ray card, we have two identical servers running Windows 2008 R2. Each server will be also running the Microsoft SQL database. We have two clients connected up to each server that are also running the same exact operating system. Connected to each server is 16 disk drives in a RAID 10 configuration. The only one difference is that one server has the Nytro Mega Ray card. Performance will be simulated using the Quest Benchmark Factory software, which will provide TPCE transactions. This is an industry standard tool to simulate a Microsoft SQL database. In our demonstration, the database size will be 200 gigabytes, 100 users, and a read-write ratio of 70:30. We'll also use the Quest Spotlight diagnostic tool to show the interaction of the SQL database. We'll also show how the Nytro Mega Ray with flash modules can accelerate the SQL database. We'll start with active sessions, go through how the SQL database looks for buffer cache to respond to requests, and finally how it goes out to the storage in order to grab I/O and place it from spinning disk or flash into the SQL database. The Nytro Mega Ray, being able to move hot data from spinning disk into the flash, will be able to show that it can accelerate the SQL database. Now let's take a look at the demonstration. After letting the systems run for an hour to let the Nytro Mega Ray controller identify hotspot data, we can look at both systems side by side. Looking at the active sessions, we can see that the system with the Nytro Mega Ray controller has completed 96% of the active sessions, compared to less than 25% for the other system. Since the active sessions show the number of actual user requests completed, this is the critical figure that shows how many users have had their request processed and how many are still waiting. Moving on to how SQL processes interact with SQL memory, we see that the system with the Nytro Mega Ray controller has 5 times more logical reads per second compared to the other system. While not a direct performance number, this does show the activity of the hotspot data being read from cache. This is a number that represents the function that will drive everything else and give the Nytro Mega Ray controller its performance advantage. Now, looking at how SQL memory and disk storage interact, we can really see the impact of the Nytro Mega Ray controller. By reading hotspot data from flash, the controller is able to free up the I/O bus to the spinning disk so that even the reads and writes that do take place to disk are seen to be accelerated. This is why the system is able to provide roughly a 5 times increase in physical reads and a 7 times increase in physical writes. All of this combines to provide a reduction in I/O wait times from 2,000 milliseconds to only 2 milliseconds. That's a 1,000 times reduction in the time that users have to wait for their read-write requests to complete. Going back to our TPCE tool, we see that all this combines to offer an improvement in average users' response times of approximately 136 milliseconds. This is the figure that matters most. This is the time that users will either spend staring at a spinning hourglass icon or moving on to their next task and being productive. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to see how the Nytro Mega Ray with flash technology can greatly improve the performance of direct attached storage environments using Microsoft SQL. For further information, please go to lsi.com/channel to see how the Nytro MegaRAID can accelerate your application.